gun while at a nightclub. Coach Taylor Jenkins didn't give a timetable for Ja Morant's return. That is exactly why we have our NBA reporter, Ramona Shelburne, with us covering this story. And Ramona, what is the latest you're hearing on the NBA and Colorado police investigations into what happened?
Well, there's two investigations. The Colorado police are investigating based off of the video that went viral. So there was no complaint to police the night of the incident, but because of the video that went viral, the Colorado police told me yesterday that they were investigating to see whether any laws were broken. Now, Colorado is an open carry state, but it is illegal to be in possession of a firearm if somebody is under the influence of alcohol. Now, from what I understand, it's going to be difficult to prove here because there was no incident report the night of, right? So there would be no police who had investigated while the incident took place. Now, the NBA investigation is a different matter. The NBA investigation can take as long as they want, and this is pretty clear here. The NBA collective bargaining agreement, Matt, says that you're not allowed to, the player is forbidden from possessing a firearm while on NBA team premises or while traveling with a team. And so the investigation will look at things like, A, is that a firearm in his hand? B, how did he get it? Was this brought on any team premises along the way? And that they can take as long as they want for that. So even though the Grizzlies have said this will take at least 2 games, the NBA can be on its own timeline.
So you said something interesting there, and I have to follow up on it because the open carry law in Colorado, under the influence, as you said, it's going to be hard to prove. But then you've got the NBA rule, which basically says no firearm if you're traveling with the team, which in this case, Ja Morant was on the road with his team. So the NBA in this situation technically could take longer than the police investigation just based on that rule, correct?
Correct. And this is really in Adam Silver's spot here where he can decide, depending on what the investigation finds, he has pretty much carte blanche on how he punishes Ja Morant in this situation if indeed the investigation does find some wrongdoing. The only precedent that comes to mind and that was really relevant in this case is Gilbert Arenas back in 2010. Yeah. That was obviously very different circumstances and a very different case. It was also David Stern was the commissioner back then, and Gilbert Arenas was given an indefinite suspension after he brought weapons to the Wizards locker room.
You spoke with some of the players in this after their loss Sunday. They're playing good basketball season. This is the 2 seed out west. What have they said?
Yeah. Well, Desmond Bane basically said, this is our family. We want to support him in however we can because Ja Morant in his statement even said, I'm taking time away from the team to seek help and find better ways to handle stress. And I think they have a recognition that there's a human element here, and this is their teammate, this is a guy they care a lot about, that they need to support, but also this idea that, he's going to be away a while. Like this is, the 2 games is really just the start here. And I think they have to have it in their head of how they go on without him for however long that may be, because it's rather uncertain how long this period of time Ja Morant needs to work on himself, but also the period of time the authorities in Colorado and the NBA need to investigate.
Yeah, this is indefinite in every sense of the word. After tonight's game, the Grizzlies head home to host the Warriors and the Mavericks. Ramona, thank you.
All right, guess who's going for their 10th straight win tonight? Yeah, the New York Knickerbockers, who now hold the longest winning streak in the NBA currently. So 9-game winning streak, tied for their longest over the last decade. Last time the Knicks had a winning streak of 9 or longer was actually 2021, but otherwise, it had been 10 years. Over the stretch of these 9 games, the Knicks are averaging just over 124 points per. Their most points ever in a 9-game winning streak, and also their most in any 9-game span since 1989. And they're going to have to win number 10 tonight, try to, without Jalen Brunson. Over the last 9 team games, Brunson is averaging 27.5 points and scored 35+ in 3 of them. But he did sit the last game questionable tonight because of that foot injury. As we say hello to our NBA analyst, Jalen Rose. And hello, Jalen, as the Knicks go for 10 straight. I mean, there's a lot of things they're doing good, right? What is the one thing that's impressed you the most during this streak?
Tom Thibodeau is always going to stress for his basketball team that they need to compete defensively. But the other thing that he does is he plays his best players high minutes. And Julius Randle in particular is a guy you can play high minutes and shows up to work every day, Sage Steele. And he also improved his three-point shooting. Not only is he a volume three-point shooter, but he's making them and making them in the clutch. Did you see that clutch three made against the Miami Heat? Once he dribbles with that right hand and he leans to that right, he's knocking down that three. So I'm really impressed with Julius Randle playing at an all-NBA level. You talked about Jalen Brunson possibly missing the next game. He's been terrific all season, scoring in all phases, in particular in the paint. When he was out, Emmanuel quickly stepped up, had 38 big points. Mitchell Robinson has given them double-doubles down low. And I want to credit their front office, Leon Rose and Scott Perry, who found ways to navigate this roster and put this Knicks team in position. So now they're on the longest win streak in the NBA.
Yeah, it is really impressive, and they're only a game and a half back of Cleveland, who's in that 4th spot. And once these guys start to believe a little bit, really the sky is the limit. This is going to be fun to watch as they try to continue it tonight against the Hornets. Jalen, stand by.
Yes, indeed.
Good one between the Cavs and Celtics last night, 2 top 4 seeds in the East. Cleveland trailed by 14 entering the 4th quarter. Donovan Mitchell passed Jaylen Brown. Cavs now lead by 1 with under 25 seconds left. Ensuing possession for Boston. Brown kicks it out to Derek White. Takes the 3. Look at this members bounce. That typically happens at home, not on the road. Celtics retake the lead by 2, 12.8 to go. Next Cleveland possession. Mitchell drives again. Can't get the reverse layup, but he draws the foul. One more look from above. Enough body contact from Williams, right? After 2 makes at the line, we're tied at 109 with under 5 seconds left. Inbounding the ball, 5.8, Peyton Pritchard. Oh, he had a look. Williams had a look. It doesn't go. But gets a chance to make it up at the line for the win. Was fouled. How about that? So before the free throws, Williams is barking at Mitchell saying, I'm going to make them both. I'm going to make them both. Okay, well, let's find out. You say that. Oh, boy. And then you're short. Here we go. I'm going to make them both. Oh, no.
Goodness.
Can you say you're going to make them both and then miss them both?
I mean, it's not a good look.
I mean, you can because he did. Under 4 minutes in overtime, Cavs trail 112-109. Mitchell past Malcolm Brogdon, slams it home. I'll tell you what, Donovan Mitchell, all said and done, when you talk about offseason moves and what they've meant to their franchise, put him near the top of the list. Cavs down just 1. Then Karis LeVert kicks it out to Lamar Stevens, who came off the bench. You cannot underestimate how good Stevens was off the bench. Cavs hang on to win 118-114. Remember, he was going to make them both. Celtics are currently on a 3-game losing streak despite holding the lead in all 3 games. They led by 15 against the Cavs, 14 Sunday against the Knicks, 28 against the Nets on Friday. That one was nuts. After last night's loss, they are the 3rd team in the play-by-play era to lose 3 straight games when leading by 14 or more in each one. First take, the question is, should you be concerned about the Celtics?
This is hell right now about the Celtics. And Molly, here's why, okay? It's the perimeter defense. It's the discipline on the offensive end. It's the lack of respect that they have for Coach Joe Mazzulla. And why I say that is because when you respect your coach on offense, you don't take horrible shots. That's what I watched the Celtics take last night. Defensively, the Celtics gave up 38 points to Bridges. Emmanuel quickly dropped 38 on them. And then last night, Donovan Mitchell just had it his way. And then let's talk about the health of Robert Williams. Jason Tatum has been on record himself saying that Robert Williams is the most important piece for us them winning the championship. I have a high level of concern when it comes down to his health.
Personally, I'm not really concerned about the Boston Celtics at all, to be quite honest with you. And the fact of the matter is, listen, it was not good. You don't lose a 28-point lead to a Brooklyn Nets team that doesn't have KD and Kyrie on it. And it makes no sense whatsoever. So certainly that gives you cause to pause, and I get all of that. I look at the Boston Celtics, even last night when Jason Tatum didn't play. I'm saying Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown's in the lineup, even though they lost the 2 previous games with them. If Jason Tatum's healthy in the lineup with Jaylen Brown, if Robert Williams is healthy, Malcolm Brogdon's there, I'm thinking, anticipating playoff time, I'm really not concerned. The only thing I'm concerned about is, are you going to get the number 1 seed? So the road to the NBA Finals has to come through TD Bank Garden in Boston. That's my concern. I get all of that. But this 5-5 record over the last 10 games, them having lost 3 straight, I'm really not concerned if you're telling me that those individuals are going to be healthy.
How about the Bucks taking advantage? January 21st, Milwaukee was 5.5 games out of first. Valentine's Day, they closed the gap, and today they lead by 2 games over the Celtics.
All right, let's bring Jalen Rose back in as the C's again. They've lost 3 straight and blowing those leads, at least 14-point leads blown in each of those 3 games. That's as ugly as it gets. I think it's interesting Kendrick Perkins brought up a lack of respect that they